Hey everybody, we are back with Flix and More with Ben Freese and Friends. And as you can see right now, right beside me here, I have a friend. Wrong way. There we go. And it's one Rio Van Zant. How you doing today, Rio?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Good to hear. Good to hear. As you know, we're here to talk about the movies and the film industry as a whole. First half of the show about the local scene, second half about all the big movies and whatnot. And you today have an interesting role we've never done in the past 3.5 years. You are actually the guest, but you're also the co-host too. So co-host with the most.
Right?
So yeah, you know what? We'll jump right into it here, right? All right, Rio. And so, as you know, you're a previous guest from like a year ago. We usually have a few questions. We'll keep it a little abbreviated here, though. So, again, just wanted to thank you for stepping in to be a co-host with me. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And just want to know, what have you been up to?
I think the better question is, what have I not been up to? I feel like Arizona had kind of like a little bit of a kick there for a while. So lots been going in Tucson. And now it's just barely starting to slow down because of the heat. But I think I did about 3 or 4 Westerns, including a telenovela, which was a great experience. And I just did a lifestyle shoot, first day shooting for Apocalypse Inc., which is an awesome series coming up.
And, by Daryl Mallet.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm starting to write a few things. So that's about it. Yeah.
And you might have been in another Western called Gallows Grave. Also featuring William Horton, and Daryl Mallet was a producer. And yeah, fun times, man. Glad you were part of that project. And it sounds exciting. You got lots of things going, lots of embers in the fire, right? The fire that is Arizona.
A lot of irons. Right? A lot of irons in the fire.
Irons on the fire, yeah. Not fires in the fire. All right.
Well, and a fire at my house, so that was scary.
Right?
So
yeah, that was
okay.
Thank goodness. Yeah. All your kitties are okay, and you are good. Thank God. Okay. Well, I tell you what. As we like to say, we want to go out and support the local film scene and all filmmakers and their craft. And that's pretty much, what the first half of the show is usually about. But we are doing a special episode this time, and we're going to jump in, and we got a lot of ground to cover from the past couple of months for movies. So we're going to move on to the box office hits and more. So we got our first movie, which is The Odyssey, the big new Christopher Nolan directed movie. He did Oppenheimer, for people who don't know. But this time he's undertaking the big story of the Odyssey, bringing it to the big screen. 3-hour big movie packed with movie stars like Matt Damon, Zendaya, and Tom Holland. What do you think about that?
Oh, I'm really excited about it. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't wait to go see it. But we all read it. What we have to read it in like junior high or something?
Right? Everybody has probably read it at some point or another. And
it'll be fun to see it on the screen.
And it's definitely hot. Number one at the box office, $124 million opening weekend. And, on this show, we always talk about the box office, right? So it has made in the first 3 days, $264 million worldwide. And that's on a $250 million budget. So, pretty impressive, right?
We're in the green.
Yeah. And Rotten Tomatoes, 95% from critics, 97% from crowds. So, that's a giant hit. And just real quick, I want to touch on Hollywood math, right? So we're a little bit in the green, not real big in the green, right? Because from past shows, we can talk about how you always want to make double your budget, right? I'll keep this simple, straightforward here. $250 it costs. We want $500 million, right? We're not quite there yet, but in 3 days, $264 is fantastic. So it's probably going to make $500 and more, and then they'll be counting the bucks, right? All right. So the next film on our docket here is going to be Minions and Monsters. Do you like the Minions, Rio?
I do. Anything little is cute, right?
And they are cute and yellow, right? Would you ever dye your hair yellow in honor of the Minions?
Not yet. I think I've had it sort of yellow before, but not on purpose. Yeah.
Maybe this is the third Minion movie, maybe the fourth one. You can bring it back, run it back. And again, talking about hit movies, it was number one at the box office, right? A few weeks ago when it came out. And the charm of this one is the heroes, the little minions, they try to make a horror movie, and then the creatures come alive and try to get them and everything. And it's cute, fun for the whole family. You know, audiences, 75%. Oddly enough, critics, 89%. They liked it more than audiences, which is really strange for a Minions movie, let alone the third Minions movie. But $85 million budget, $357 worldwide. So talking about that green Rio, right? I mean,
that's really good. Yeah,
they're off and running, right? We may be seeing Minions and Rio next. You know,
that would be awesome.
Yes. So our next film is going to be Toy Story 5. Oh my gosh, you know, this just hits right in the feels, right? Like, I know you've seen at least the first few movies, and you know, they're amazing. These CGI animated family films, and they're beloved, you know. And when it came out a few weeks ago, it was number 1 2 weeks in a row. You know, $958 million, almost $1 billion worldwide, $250 million budget, right? So similar to the Odyssey, you know, where it needed 500. It's well beyond that. So they are rolling in the dough right now, you know.
Infinity and beyond.
Exactly. This time around, check out the premise of this. It's very poignant to today. Kids are getting tablets and they're starting to ignore their toys. So no joy from their toys anymore. They are stuck with their face in their tablets, and that's a little too realistic, huh?
Yeah, it's sad. So
yeah,
right on point.
93% Rotten Tomatoes, critics 95, audiences, people love it, you know. And I don't know if we have any other picks of this movie or anything, but it sure is great. Whoa, what the heck is this? Is that a drunk Woody or what? Somebody
looks
backwards?
like it doesn't. I don't know what it is.
Somebody backwards on a horse asleep. Is that? That doesn't look like Woody. Is that you, Rio?
Yeah, so that I was being Woody's stunt double, and
tell me what's going on here.
Andy walked in, and you know, I had to clap.
Oh yeah, you had to fall just like in the movie.
No, I literally just fell asleep, like dead to the world, asleep on this horse, and I happened to be dressed a little bit like Woody. So
are you on your way to the watering hole, or what's going on? Why are you backwards?
It's
so
a therapy
funny
thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Real like it's a long story, right? Too funny.
Oh my
gosh. Funny. Hey, guess what? Our next movie, Rio, is Scary Movie. So scary that it scared the number 6 right off of the movie. They're doing this weird thing in Hollywood, Rio, where like they did it with Halloween. They did it with Scream. Lots of horror movies are doing this. I think they're scared to show how many movies they're in, right? Like 10 movies, 12 movies, whatever it may be. And they're like, let's just drop it and call it like the first movie, but it's not a remake. It's the next one. So how weird is that?
Right.
It was number 1 at the box office, and it brings back all the stupid characters. It's a really dumb franchise. It's funny. I mean, they're all funny, but like critics, 23%. The critics don't like it. 65 from audiences, which really at this point, they're like, yeah, this is we know it's the 6th one. You don't have to hide the number 6 from us. But hey, $30 million budget, $230 million worldwide. So I mean, they're probably going to make Scary Movie 7, 8, and 9, or Scary Movie. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to call it at this point, but they might just leave the numbers off and keep saying Scary Movie, Scary Movie. I don't know. It's pretty strange.
Yeah, you know, it's the thing that people go to watch just to be entertained. Just, you know, they're not expecting much, and, you know, they want to be brain dead. I don't know.
I totally agree. Yes, brain dead is probably the
brain
most
dead for a few hours.
word. That's it. Yeah, exactly. So I tell you what, that was pretty awesome, and we've got a lot more coming up. Way more movies to cover with you and Rio, and we'll be right back. continue on, and this time we're going to the box office knots. You see that knot right there? Wah, wah, wah.
Oh my gosh, please. Seriously. The best thing is that cute little pig on that picture.
Aw, that's Moana. That's Moana. But it is the live action remake that nobody asked for. The Rock is rebate. Rebate, yeah. Basically, everybody loved Moana when it came out, and they even made a second one, and they're both huge hits, made like $1 billion, and they're like, let's continue that streak of Disney movies being remade exactly the same, literally bringing back the same person who played Maui, The Rock, and just do a apparently soulless version of the same exact story. The first couple were magical, but when it came out, box office was not so magical. $43 million opening for this big movie with a $200 million budget, right? Or 200, who knows? It was number one, but that was not a promising opening. It's made $178 million the last few weeks, so it's barely made back its budget. And again, you want to make double your budget, so I don't know, Rio. You said the pig was cute, but not much else, right?
Yeah, that's the best part. Is that picture.
And you know what? It's weird. Audiences didn't go to see it in droves, but yet 90%. So I guess they like it because it's exactly the same as the original animated movie. Doesn't really make any sense, but critics saw through that. They're like 33%. They're hell no. Let's skip this one because we saw it before. All right, and we have now Supergirl. Rio, there you go. See, the guns came out, right?
I got to get him back. I used to be.
Now, there's a cute doggy, right? So again, the cuteness overload. So this is the second big release in the new DC universe that they created. They started it a couple of years ago with Superman, the new Superman. But this one absolutely tanked. No buzz at all. The Superman one did well, like 600 million or something, and had generally good reviews. And I wasn't even a big fan of it at all. But this one is the follow-up. Horrible opening. It's pretty much dead on arrival. Cost 175 million to make. It's made 120, and nobody really cares. I was gonna say it'll be interesting to see how the next few will do, but this may not bode well for the DC universe. I don't know. Critics 56%, audiences 76%. They were like, that was pretty good, but Marvel movies and the big hit movies, even Superman, they get big reviews, right? Great reviews and everything. And this is just like, yeah, it's good, So not so hot, right? That's the whole point of this, though. The box office, not. No. Speaking of, I hate to say not, but what's your reaction to seeing this poster, Rio?
I was so excited. I still want to see it, and I'm still going to see it because
me too.
It's He-Man. And and apparently She-Ra's not in it. Maybe that's why it's a not.
It bombed because no She-Ra, exactly, right?
No She-Ra, like, come on.
Yeah, so it's based on the old, if people don't know, and we know obviously, but it's based on the old hit cartoon of the same name, Masters of the Universe, right, from the 80s. He-Man's back, and Jared Leto plays Skeletor. I've heard he's like one of the best things in the movie. But then he ended up later, when it got released, and it had a real soft opening box office, and it's not done well. It has $170 million budget. 113 is barely eked out that, and it's pretty much done with its run now. And Jared Leto even went out and said, I really wasn't happy with how this movie turned out. And everyone was saying he was the best thing about it. So, man, it's like you can't win for losing with that one. 68% Rotten Tomatoes, did not light the world on fire with the critics. Audiences, 86%. So I have heard... She-Ra. Yeah. I haven't heard a lot of good reviews, but yeah, missing She-Ra. So, when the original old show launched in the 80s, that was a popular character, and they spun off the show to her own show, and that was a hit show, and they brought back the animated version a few years ago, and it did great. And then the He-Man one, animated one, didn't do so great, and now the live-action one didn't do so great. But I've heard it's still a good flick, so we'll see. Oh, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. See little baby Yoda right there, Rio? What do you think?
Oh, he's so cute. Right? Yeah. Everything that's little is just cute. So
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and it's been 7 years since the last Star Wars movie. And it was number one when it came out on Memorial Day weekend, but it's in a rough spot because it was a huge success, The Mandalorian, the TV show, and some people may not even know, who Grogu is. Like, do you know him better as Baby Yoda, Rio?
Yeah.
Yeah, many people do. But they spent $100 million on the marketing campaign. It basically needed $400 to $500 million to break even, and at $165 million budget, like I said, huge ad campaign. It didn't even come close to breaking even. $340 million worldwide, and that's the entire run. 61% Rotten Tomatoes. Critics were like, Audiences 87. They still loved it. Families that did go see it loved it, and it did well its first weekend. But man, what a disappointment for Star Wars. I'm hoping next year, the next big movie, I'm hoping that one comes out and sends some shockwaves through. It's that one's a completely original story with Ryan Gosling next year. Not to talk about it too much, but it's way different than just going with the pat hand, right? The reliable old Baby Yoda and everything. I think it's past. They want something different, audiences. So
like we don't.
Now we're going to move on to critical darlings and massive bombs, I like to call it. First one is going to be the movie Evil. Take a close look, Rio. Maybe lean into the camera a little bit. Look. Who is that on his shoulder?
Little Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. A lot of people probably don't even know his name is Grogu, and he's the buddy of the Mandalorian. And this just hurts my heart, Rio. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and it didn't do well. So, unfortunately, it was number one in its opening weekend of Memorial Day, but it's in a rough spot because you got this huge successful TV show, The Mandalorian, and it went 3 seasons, right? And it kind of petered out by the end of the 3rd season, and I don't know. Then they just took a swing and a miss, right? Swing and a miss.
A swung?
Yeah, making a movie because it's like a long episode of Mandalorian. There's no connective tissue like to the other movies and everything, so they spent $165 million, which is kind of small for a Star Wars movie budget, and a $100 million ad campaign. But the problem is it only made $340 million total. That's not good. For this, they needed to make $400 to $500 million just to even break even, and it didn't even come near that. So critics were like, 61%, audiences 87. So they still families love the little Baby Yoda, right? And maybe now they'll know his name is Grogu. But what do you think about that? What do you think about Star Wars? And it was 7 years since the last film. So did they just?
Yeah,
was it the wrong time or something?
I don't know. I'm still a fan of the original. So
yeah,
I'm a purist.
The originals are great. They're the best ones, that's for sure. But this one petered out, and it just hurts my heart. But that's okay. It was a fun movie. I saw it twice in the theater. Oh well. But we'll go to the next one here. Which is part of what I like to call critical darlings and massive bombs. This one would be Evil Dead Burn. And it is the 6th movie, Rio, in the Dark and Disturbing franchise that usually features Ash. Now, we were talking about this earlier, you and I, and you had mentioned a different series of film, right? That you were thinking about?
Resident Evil.
Yeah, which is Mia Jovovich. Yep, in her awesome outfit, like leather, right, and beaten up.
And she's a baddie, so.
Yeah. So similar, Evil Dead, they're fighting all the disturbing monsters and everything. There's a family that has secrets, and the secrets are, some of them are Deadites, which are the creatures in Evil Dead. And it did pretty well, $25 million budget, 51 worldwide. So, I mean, it's going, 71 million, 71% Rotten Tomatoes, 81 audiences. So it was liked. It's supposed to be part of another trilogy of movies, but they keep doing that with movies. They did it with the 28 Days Later franchise as well, the horror franchise. But they keep doing let's get it back, and we'll do a trilogy. It's like, dude, wait and see how the first movie does,
Yeah, no, it just seems to be a trend right now. There's too many, nowhere to stop.
Yeah, trying to jump on the bandwagon. But there's not even a recognizable person. It used to have Ash, I was telling you earlier, as the hero, and now he's just been gone from the last few movies. So I don't know. I'd eventually want to see it, but whatevs. Now this one, I really wanted to see this one bad, and it's already out of the theaters. The Death of Robin Hood. $20 million budget. Not really that big of a budget, really. On a $6 million worldwide, though. So, like, really, they hyped it like a big epic tale with Hugh Jackman playing Robin Hood, and he falls after he's done all his stealing and fighting and all that stuff, and he falls in love with. He's about to die, from what I heard, and this woman nurses him back to health, and they fall in love, and it's supposed to be a romantic movie, and because Rotten Tomatoes 67%, audience is 57%. Usually we get a romance movie, women love it, and audience scores are good. So what happened?
That's what I was going to say. I'll probably still watch it just because of Hugh Jackman, because he's the total package, right? He's a classic. But yeah, I'll probably be disappointed too. So
isn't he like 90 now? But he still looks
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. It's Hugh Jackman.
He's not that bad, right?
No.
Yeah, and it seems like he just keeps getting more and more svelte and ripped and jacked and everything, and it's like, how long can you keep that up in your body? My gosh, because I think he's getting close to 60. However, I have been reminded by our intrepid producer that he's an Aussie, man, and the Aussies rule. So I can't ignore that one, right?
There's a magnetism there, right, Mark?
Yes, exactly. Now we have a little segment we've been doing the last few months called Spotlight. So the first movie in the Spotlight is a movie called Backrooms. Now talk about like going viral and having something low budget just kind of come out of nowhere. $10 million budget, Rio, $384 million. That's a good return on your investment.
Yeah.
So they shocked everybody, It actually is the movie that knocked Star Wars out of the #1 position. And no one had ever heard of it. It's not part of a franchise. It's a horror or like thriller.
Wasn't it the guys that were doing the Vines first? No?
I'm not sure, but I know it's mostly unknowns and it's micro budgeted. It explores, places nobody talks about, the scary unknown of like these back rooms, reality bending dimensions that you can fall into when you walk into these rooms. And it was #1 when it came out, and it just shows to Goya that you can have a movie where you don't have anybody who's known, but it can be a gigantic hit. 87% from critics, Rotten Tomatoes, 74% from audiences. People really enjoyed it. And I'm not sure, as far as what you mentioned, I'm not sure about who was behind it. I do know they had Andy Richter in it from the Conan O'Brien show. That was their big name that they grabbed to throw in there somewhere in like a supporting role. But it was a big hit, and it kind of came out of nowhere because I've been talking about the movie Obsession the last few months. Not the same people that made Obsession, but right around the same time, Obsession came out, was a giant hit. Backrooms came out, giant hit, and these are movies with like nobodies, people who've never made movies before and never had any success or anything. And
sorry, I've got a bogey, everybody.
Yep. Does your kitty want to go see Backrooms? He might get lost and trapped. We don't want to let him get back there,
Jody,
that could be bad.
What do you think? No.
All right. So Rio, I know this is a big one that we wanted to talk about today. And our very own, we were mentioning Aussies there a second ago, our very own Aussie producer, Mark Bishop, went and saw this, and he kind of shares the same reaction of most. Do you want to take it away and kind of talk about it a little bit, Rio?
Oh, we're talking about Steven Spielberg, right?
Yes, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, disclosure day. We needed a disclosure beforehand that this was not going to be up to par. Coming from, like you said, you're about to tell us the numbers, but for a Spielberg film, coming
great.
From Jaws and all the
right? Indiana Jones, E.T., all these. Minority Report, great movie. Just like he's really kind of come down in the recent years here. He still makes some good movies, but 80% Rotten Tomatoes, 70% from audiences. Some people liked it, but they're like, this was not what we were looking for. This was like the big tentpole, big return to alien sci-fi stuff. It had a relatively small budget for a big Steven Spielberg movie, 115 million, but it only made 234. I mean, when I saw the trailer, I thought, "Whoa, this is going to be a big one. He's back on his game." And I mean, it's odd. It even came in number one at the box office, but and it was more successful than his last two movies combined. And but like plot of Aliens mixed with Steven Spielberg, big tentpole movie, and I mean, it's barely going to break even. It'll probably do well on like video on demand and Blu-ray and all that, but like pretty subdued effort. I mean, it really is not. A lot of people I talk to who've seen it have said Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right? Like it's nowhere near as good as that. And
well, I mean, how old is he now? Is he maybe?
He's getting up there, 60s, I think. So yeah, I think
it's a little.
I'm not saying he should retire, but like. No. Maybe his best days are behind him.
No. He just, it's enough. We'll just say it was just a miss.
Exactly. Speaking of misses, we have our new segment coming up. It'll be medium budget movies and the recent curse of losing money. And we'll come to that in a moment after we take this quick little break. Back, Rio. We're going to talk about a weird little thing that's been going on for at least the past year or two. Medium budget movies. We've covered these a few times, and I know you're not going to know most of these, but I'm just going to run through it pretty briefly, honestly, because there's a curse. Hollywood, right? They put out huge movies, right, and they either bomb or they don't, and they put out little, movies like Backrooms and Obsession and stuff with barely any budget. But they do a ton of movies that are like medium level budget, like anywhere from 30 to 50 million. And they're usually pretty well reviewed. But a lot of times they don't make much money. So they kind of just burn through money. They usually have at least a few interesting things or cool actors. But so we've got Pressure, which had Brendan Fraser. 18 million worldwide on a $30 million budget. So Jackass, the best and last, maybe not so great because it only made 10 million at the box office. The Breadwinner, which is a comedy, 20 million on a $25 million budget. So you kind of get the point here. Couture made just barely 2 million and got bad reviews. Passenger, a horror movie, made 31 on a $15 million budget. So we've also got The Furious that made this is the one I want to see the most out of these movies. I'm just kind of running through and naming off. The Furious is a martial arts movie, and it looks pretty cool. The trailer looked awesome. It had 98% and 95% for its 2 Rotten Tomato things. So that's kind of the one out of all those. We've got I Love Boosters, 9 million on a $20 million budget. The Invite, 22 on a $25 million budget. Young Washington, 33 million on a 20. So all these movies are not making double their budget. They're not really bringing in loads of money. A few of them are bad reviews. Most of them had pretty good reviews. So it's like ones like, why are they even in the theater? Right? They're not making money. They're burning money. So they could at least be on and they will be eventually on VOD but I think that's where they'll find a new life. If they are pretty good movies, then people might want to watch them. Like Rio sits down and decides what movie she's going to play on, say, Netflix or whatever. And she says, ooh, The Furious. Oh, hey, that one was pretty good. Oh, hey, The Breadwinner. It made me laugh. It's those kind of movies that you don't really hear about and they don't really make money, but eventually you'll probably see them, and they'll probably be good. You know what I mean?
But I wonder if that's why it's the curse, because it's the medium budget. Like if you don't have much budget at all, you have to be super creative. Everybody has to pitch in, and like you find the ways to cut the corners. Then sometimes you just need a lot of money to really make a great show. But in that middle, it's like you got enough money, but not quite.
Exactly. Yep. Enough money to burn through and waste, but not and not make it back. But you might still make a quality movie. You know, like I said, most of them had pretty good. I'm not going to run through all the Rotten Tomatoes, but they were all pretty good. So, you know, it's like they just didn't get fans to come out to see them. And again, they'll probably be ones people will see. They'll check out later. So now we are coming to movies to watch for. And the first one we have is Spider-Man Brand New Day. So these next two movies we're going to talk about, they are brand new movies, but they have not come out yet. And we'll tell you when they're coming out and what they're about. And we'll talk about if they maybe are going to be worthy of the hype, you know? So Spider-Man Brand New Day, you know, Marvel, right, Rio? And how they're all these giant, big budget, you know, Marvel movies. And, people love the Spider-Man ones. It's the fourth one in a row from Tom Holland. It's going to come out July 31st, very, very soon, in about a week from where we are right now. And in this one, Peter Parker, if people saw the ending of the third movie, they know he was forgotten by everyone. Everyone's basically their memory of him was wiped clean. And so he has to kind of deal with that, with not having friends anymore, being literally completely alone because his Aunt May died as well in the last one. So he's going to have to deal with a new threat and trying to kind of find himself and where he fits in this new world that doesn't even recognize him. So I know a lot of people are hyped about that one. I'm sure it'll be a big hit.
And the new darling couple, right? Zendaya and Tom, right?
Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Yeah, they're in
She's
there.
back. She's back. And did they just get married recently or something? I think.
Yeah. I was going to say the darling couple of Hollywood right now. So
how funny that they got married in between the third and fourth movie, and in the fourth movie, she doesn't know who he is. Her character, right? Married in real life, but then coming to set and being like, I don't even know who that guy is. You know? Is that how you would treat your husband, Rio, if you got married?
If that's the key word.
Right.
I have nightmares about that. So. We won't touch that subject then.
Hey, so last but not least is Super Troopers 3. It's coming out August 7th, so it'll start August off with a bang of comedy. Right, the gang's back at it again. I don't know if you've heard about or ever seen the Super Troopers movies, but they're hilarious. They're stupid and funny. This time they have a wedding. And they're trying to stop a drug wing. A drug wing? Yeah, easy for me to say. So it's wacky hijinks, right? Like, who wouldn't want to see a drug cartel fighting somebody at a wedding? And it's a comedy. So
plus you got the power of the mustache going on there. Look at that.
Oh yeah, look at those mustaches.
It is mustache mania.
Mustache alert. Yep. So hopefully that one will be a good one. They are enjoyable. So go out and check it out. August 7th, coming to the movie theater soon. That time to bid adieu. And thank you for joining us for an abbreviated, shorter show here. Flix and More with Ben Freese and Friends with my co-host with the most, Rio Van Zant.
Bye, guys.
Of course, myself, me, Ben Freese. So thanks, everybody, for joining in. It's been a fun show. And thanks again. You know what? We will catch you on the Flix side. You know, flip side? The Flix side. Yeah.
Ben.
I'm a dad joke fan.